Here is something you may not have noticed. The White House doesn't really mention or blame former President George W. Bush anymore. There is a new slogan in town. See if you can figure out what it is.
If we don't work even harder than we did in 2008, then we're going to have a government that tells the American people you are on your own. If you get sick, you're on your own. If you can't afford college, you're on your own. If you don't like that some corporation is polluting your air or the air that your child breathes, then you're on your own.
There, President Obama seemed to be going after the GOP candidates in general. Here, the DNC goes after a specific opponent.
Don't try and stop the foreclosure process. Let it run its course and hit the bottom, allow investors to buy homes, put renters in them, fix the homes up, and let it turn around and come back up.
So does you're on your own seem to be a winning formula? Is it even accurate? That's all fair game for my guest today. Republican strategist Ron Bonjean is with us, and CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Maria Cardona is here as well. Ron, let me start with you.
Sure.
If you were part of the president's team, would this be a strategy that you would advise?
No, I don't think so, because this is what Congressman Paul Ryan said. This is a strategy that's based on fear and resentment. And what it is it's a base strategy. That was a speech. He's trying to get people to donate to his campaign so he can build up his coffers to go after the Republican opponent in the general election and frame him and make it a choice instead of a referendum on his own record, which is no job creation, high unemployment, and high taxes.
Maria, I want you to weigh in on this, but I want to share a poll with everybody first. Take a look at this, all right? This was a poll that was just taken last month, and it shows that over half of Americans still blame Bush and the Republicans for current economic problems. So in light of this, Maria, should the Democrats continue to blame Bush instead of using this new strategy, do you think?
Well, I think that this new strategy is an extension of blaming Bush without actually using Bush's name because, you know, let's face it, while Americans, according to your poll, still blame Bush and the Republicans for 8 years of horrible strategies, fiscal strategies that put us in this huge hole to begin with, they want to hear what the choices are in 2012. And that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a choice between someone and a party who is looking out for the middle class and working class families and a party that is only looking out for the richest 1% and big corporations in this country. And the Republicans basically have become our best spokespeople in underscoring that by using their own words. For example, that's why the DNC ran that ad about Romney saying he doesn't care if the foreclosure market hits bottom. That's basically telling the middle class you're on your own. Ron Paul in one of the debates basically said that if you're uninsured and you are dying in an emergency room, you know, that should be your problem. You need to take responsibility. So in essence, that is exactly what the GOP is saying, and it is a choice.
Ron, why go after Romney?
Well, they think that Romney is going to be the likely general Republican candidate that they're going to have to take on, and they're trying to frame him right now because, you know, frankly, any Republican is going to have an advantage over President Obama, including Governor Romney or anyone else who gets the nomination, because he has a dismal record on jobs, and that's what this election is going to be about. It's an economic election. It's going to be on jobs and the economy. And do we have high unemployment a year from now, or do we have lower unemployment a year from now? Do people feel better, or do they not? Going after a Republican and going negative is not going to get him elected. You have to show a positive vision for the future, and that's what Republicans are doing. They're laying out their plans. Here's how we're going to give businesses certainty so they can start hiring more workers again. Instead of saying, you know what, if we elect a Republican, you're not going to get your health care, you're not going to get your education. That message turns off independents, and it certainly turns off conservative voters in swing states as well.
But
Maria, just very quickly, I'll give you a last word here.
Let's talk about a message that turns off Americans, and that is when Mitch McConnell, the head of the Senate Republicans, basically says that his main goal is not to create jobs for the American people, it's to make sure that President Obama is a one-term president. That is not a goal that Americans want to hear. That is not leadership, and that's why President Obama is going to get elected.
Maria Cardona, Ron Bonjean, thank you both. That is fair game today. Thanks for playing.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, it separates the Caribbean Sea from the Gulf of Mexico. It also is a popular resort area featuring beautiful beaches and ancient ruins, but a storm is on its way. We'll take you there next in Globe Trekking.
I do a lot of research on Angie's List before I do any projects on my home.
At Angie's List, you'll find reviews written by people just like you.
I love my contractor, and I am so thankful to Angie's List for bringing us together.
Angie's List. Reviews you can trust.
When CSX moves forward, so do the rest of us.
Medicare. It doesn't cover everything, and what it doesn't cover can cost you some money. That's why you should consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. All Medicare supplement insurance plans can help pay some of what Medicare doesn't, so you could save thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket expenses. Call now for this free